Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Sport Federation TV, where of course on a weekly basis we take a look at sport in the Western Cape. Nice to have you along, and of course remember you can keep tuning in to find out what is happening with sport in the province right here on Sport Federation TV as we look at what the various federations are up to. Coming up on the show tonight, we're going to catch up with Roxanne Clarke from Western Cape Tennis. They've got the David Samai Juniors Championships happening in Cape Town at the moment. We'll catch up with Eugene Steenkamp. He's the development officer for Elsie's Rivier Chess Club. They just came back after the Western Cape Club Championships, and we're going to be catching up with DB Burger, the chairman of Western Cape Equestrian Endurance Riding. They've got an event happening in Rawsonville this weekend. And in case you missed our interviews with Sarah Brody, the president of Women's Golf South Africa, and of course Jeffrey McGiven from Western Cape Cycling, where they've of course got the Absa Cape Epic happening at the moment. Also that coming up for you during the course of the show, so don't go away. But back on the line with us now, the captain of the Billie Jean King Cup, Roxanne Clarke. Been involved with tennis all her life across all levels. It's fantastic to have you back on the line, Roxanne. How are things going there with you?
Thanks so much for having me once again, JP. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, well, we're glad that you're in Cape Town. We know that you're such a jet setter and dealing with international matters, so welcome back. I'm sure that you're happy to be back in town.
I'm so happy to be here in Cape Town, and I'm so happy that these tournaments are here in Cape Town. It's really just a fantastic opportunity for our players.
Roxanne, in addition to your international travels and your dealings with tennis, you're also the national coach, national girls coach, and you've got your work cut out for you over the next few days, taking a look at how things are going in Cape Town.
Yeah, I mean, I've had my work cut out from the past 2 weeks. I've been a part of a squad where we had our best girls participating in these two junior tournaments, which are higher grade tournaments. It was a grade 3 in the junior calendar. I can explain that for you later, and then a grade 2. So it's been really exciting, and also with our boys as well. Our boys have also been competing. So yeah, and now we get to the big one, which is the David Samai Junior Tournament happening here in Calvin Grove.
Well, you might as well explain it to me now. What are these grades and how do they work?
Okay, so the ITF Junior World Tour, as you have it, has grades of tournaments starting from the lowest grade, which is grade 5, and then we move up to grade 4, grade 3, grade 2, grade 1, and then grade A and Grand Slams. So these tournaments that we had recently in Stellenbosch were a grade 3 and a grade 2. So the points availability for these athletes who compete just go up, and the competition just gets stronger as the grade goes up. So this one that's happening now at Calvin Grove, starting tomorrow, is a grade A, which is the only tournament of its kind in Africa. And I don't think every continent has one, but it's one level below a Grand Slam. And in fact, the ITF sort of considers it to be, you could say, an African Grand Slam.
That's obviously very important for any athlete that wants to stay in the ranking structure, that's not playing socially, and they actually want to have call it a tennis career.
Yeah, no, definitely important. It's difficult. I mean, the points that are on offer are always a lot higher, but the competition gets stronger. So you can expect players to play really tough matches, even from the qualifying rounds. I mean, we have an international field of players that are in the top 100, in the top 200, also in the world, including our South African players.
So we definitely need to find out about it. Now, just tell us a little bit about the actual David Samai Junior Championships. You say it's a qualifying process. How many matches would the athletes play in a tournament like this? Is it a knockout format? Do you play once and you're done? How does it work?
Typically, yes, it's a knockout format. I mean, it's of the highest performance grade tournament. So qualifying, expect those who are playing in qualifying to play 3 rounds of qualifying to get in. And
Right.
and I think the draw, I'm not sure, it's either a 64 draw or a 32 draw, meaning that you need to win. If it's 64, you need to win 6 matches to win the title, and if it's 32, you need to win 5. So imagine coming from qualifying and doing that. That's quite intense.
Tell us how our athletes are doing at it. I mean, this, as you say, is a ranking points for their future. How are our athletes in the Western Cape doing?
Well, our athletes in the Western Cape, we had one athlete who partnered with a player from the Free State, one of the girls. Her name is Naledi Manyube, and she reached the doubles final of the Grade 3, which is the first tournament that was just played in Stellenbosch, which was a fantastic result for her. Unfortunately, she had to withdraw from this tournament because of injury, so that was quite sad for her. But she had a great result in that. Other than that, we had some players who qualified or received wild cards in the boys, like Rowan Loeb. She received a wild card into the Grade 3. And yeah, it's been tough for our players, to be honest with you. The competition is really high, really high.
And you've had some success stories already from this tournament. You mentioned to me Kolo Montse that is doing really well.
Yeah, I mean, in 2019, just to give everybody some perspective on the importance of this David Samai Junior tournament, is it sort of launched him into the top 20 in the World Juniors. So he reached a career high ranking of number 12, and that sort of set him up to get all these opportunities, because he's obviously now over 18 and ranked about, I think he's about 900 in the world now. So he's doing well in that. And then the girl winner of this tournament in 2019, Alex Iyala, is currently number 4 in the world in the juniors. So this was also a good stepping stone for her into launching her junior career, and then possibly even her pro career.
You must be very proud of this, Roxanne. I mean, you've been involved with tennis from grassroots level for your whole life, and you've been representing South Africa for a long time. That we've spoken to so many athletes that have come back from the Olympics, for example, that have spoken about that special feeling that you have as a South African when you are overseas. And this must be, I mean, to a degree, I would expect that this is almost emotional for you to look at the youngsters and see them doing so well.
It's overwhelming, to be honest with you. It's the best part of my job, is to see them succeeding and doing well. And you know, in the background, the coaches, the federation, we're all trying to make things, put things in place for these players to achieve their goals. And having a tournament like this year, and so appropriately named after one of the Western Cape's great athletes, David Samai, I mean, it's just wonderful, and I'm so proud to be a part of it.
What comes next for the athletes now, Roxanne? Of course, they compete now. They look for their rankings. Obviously, some will make it, some won't make it. What are the 2 different directions that the athletes will go in here after this weekend?
Well, tennis is one of those sports that it's just not even really seasonal. It just happens the whole year. So, you know, as soon as they finish this one, they sort of decide, okay, where their path leads them. So some people are going to the US to play some also high level tournaments. And others will play in South African tournaments. So we have the following weekend after this one, when this tournament ends, there's the South African Junior Masters. So the top 10 players in the country will compete. And then of course there's those who are planning on playing professionally. In December there's some ITF World Tour events for professionals. So there's a lot that goes on, and everybody's path is different. Some players who will be finishing their high school careers will be looking to go to university in the US next year and try to get a scholarship with the NCAA. So whatever their paths are, there's so much available. And I know that next year on the calendar for South Africa, there'll be even more of these tournaments to give our players more opportunities to, again, achieve their goals.
And for you, as national coach, what comes next for you now?
Well, you know, the recruiting process and the looking at players for the Billie Jean King Cup, it's ongoing. And so we start to build for next year and try to put things together for that. But I'm quite involved, as I've told you before, with the Tennis South Africa structure. So we're always in contact and just trying to improve things for tennis here in South Africa and here in the Western Cape as well.
It's great stuff, Roxanne. We're so proud to have you here as part of sport in the Western Cape. We'll leave it at that, and we'll say thanks for joining us. We know that you had to take special time out of your very busy schedule. And yeah, great stuff. And we look forward to, as we said, everybody, lots of photographs and videos and great stories.
Thanks so much, JP. I'll be sure to send you some good stuff. And thanks for having me on the show again.
Thanks, Roxanne. There we go, folks. Roxanne Clarke. She's, of course, the captain of the Billie Jean King Cup, national coach, and instrumentally involved in tennis here in the Western Cape. And what fantastic stuff happening then, of course, over the next few days as our tennis juniors go out and do their best to get those various rankings and simply just also enjoy tennis. Folks, we'll take an ad break. When we come back from a break, we'll carry on taking a look at sport in the province. Back in a sec.